here today to talk to you about learning in chemistry. When you get to college, your first job here, and this really is a job, is to do well in your coursework. The reason you want to do that is because this being a first job, you'll need letters of recommendation, and this is a proving ground for future work. So you need to really learn how to do well, and to do well, you need to learn how to study. Most of the learning that you do in college is going to be done using your senses. For instance, the sense of sight, you'll use that to learn things that are picked up off the blackboard. You'll use that to learn things that you read out of your book. You'll use it to learn other things in the laboratory. Your sense of hearing is also important because whatever a professor or whatever your friends tell you in group work, you're going to possibly need to know. Your sense of touch is oddly important in learning. One of the things that you'll do along the way is try to take good notes. Taking good notes reinforces to your brain through your fingers information that you would otherwise forget. It's not exactly a sense, but also the sense of speech is important. In order to speak about a topic, you have to organize that material in your mind, and you have to have some logic to your presentation so that others can understand what you're saying. So these four things, sight, hearing, touch, and speech, are going to be important for your learning. The biggest thing about attending college and doing well in classes is just attending class. Now, for some courses, you won't really need any of the information that you learn in class. Other courses, the only information that you'll need will be learned in class. What attending class really does for you is it allows you to see what the professor is really emphasizing, because what he emphasizes in class, he or she is likely to emphasize on a test. A book, reading the book, can tell you all about a subject area, but all things are equal in a book. There's no particular emphasis that can be laid out on a particular topic, except maybe the length of that portion of a chapter. A professor, on the other hand, can talk about one subject for 1 minute and another subject for 49 minutes, and you can pretty well guess which subject will be part of the test. The next thing that you need to do once you are in class, you need to take good notes. Note-taking is kind of an art. Not only do you want to write down what the professor writes on the blackboard or the whiteboard, as the case may be, but you want to write down anything that he or she says that you didn't already know. A lot of times what is written on a whiteboard or what is thrown up off a projector are the important main ideas. But those ideas are kind of naked by themselves. They always need some explanation, which explanation is going to be done verbally. Most people do not write every word that they say on a board. And so you need to write into your notes those things. Lastly, and probably most importantly, is developing good study habits. For many courses, you just need to read the book and concentrate on what the book says. For other courses, you just need to pay attention to what the professor says. Still other courses are going to be a mixture of the two. So you need to learn how to handle the individual course. And so when you first begin a course, study both the book. For science and math courses, well, there are two basic ways to study. One is to progressively go along with the course, doing a little bit of homework each night and learning a little bit of new material each night. That way of studying is especially good for science and math courses. But you also need to do any homework that's assigned, and you need to do it the night that it's assigned. At worst, you need to do it the next day. The reason for that is because your brain will keep a memory of what went on in class, and you'll still understand how to do things the same day that you learn them. If you wait till the next day or 2 days later, your brain will no longer retain that information. You need to reinforce what you learned in class on your own the same day that you learn new material. So the important thing is to do assignments the night they're assigned. If you don't understand how to do problems, if you don't understand theories that have been gone over in class, the second most important thing besides studying is asking. If you don't understand, ask. Whether you're asking your professor, whether you're asking a study group member, whether you're asking a tutor, somebody is going to have the answer and you need to get it. So if you don't understand something, ask. When you're doing your homework, for instance, if you're doing homework problems, if you sit and stare at a problem 10 minutes and nothing comes to you as to how to do that problem, then there's no point in continuing with it. That's one of the questions that you'll need to ask the professor or to ask another student. If, however, you start doing a problem and you keep making progress little bit by little bit on it, keep working on it until you get it done. It's more important for you to learn to do the problem yourself than to go ask a professor how to do it and be told. Again, that feeling of touch, that helps you to retain information. Most of the time, if you can, when you do homework, work in groups, small groups of 3 or 4 people, because you want your work to move along slowly, consistently, whatever, but you want to work together on things so that each person in the group is reinforcing the others. If you can, do extra homework. If you have the time, if the professor suggests it, do extra homework, whatever extra homework that he's willing to give you. It will help. What you want to do is learn the material gradually as you go through a science or math course, so that the night before the test, you don't have to learn anything new. All you have to do is review the ideas that you've learned over the past 3 or 4 weeks. You should not be learning anything new the night before a test. You should only need to spend maybe 2 to 3 hours reviewing your notes, reviewing your homework problems, and then get a good night's rest. Probably the most important part of taking a test is having enough rest the night before. You need to be able to think in science and math. You need the rest. In fact, if there's a choice between getting rest and studying more, you're better off getting the rest. One last little thing to note. While you're in college, you've got basically no responsibilities. You get to do whatever you want to do without a parent's interference, without anyone really interfering. The best idea is to get your work done first and play after your work is done. So get the work done first, then play. And that's all I've got for you on studying.